This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Finding a tree can be an important holiday tradition. The Pick Tennessee mobile app and picktnproducts.org list local Christmas tree farms. You can learn more about Tennessee's Christmas trees and all the holiday activities available at local tree farms at Pick Tennessee.
Holidays are a season set aside to be thankful for what we have in abundance and an opportunity to express that appreciation. This year, Tennessee's first family, Governor Bill and First Lady Chrissy Haslam, took the opportunity to say thank you to some of the farmers and chefs who have made our state famous in the local foods movement. Join us now for Homegrown for the Holidays to meet a few of these pioneers. We'll see award-winning chefs use some of their favorite seasonal foods, and later I'll show you how to prepare an easy, traditional recipe for your own holiday table.
So my name is Stephen Ward. I'm the executive chef here at the Tennessee Executive Residence, and the purpose of today is to get the chefs together that are going to cook with me for the Pick Tennessee 30th anniversary dinner. We're going to kind of show them the property, show them where we'll be cooking and serving, and then also talk a little bit about the menu development. So being able to get together with some different chefs and being able to sit down and come up with a menu and collaborate as a team and try to come up with something that highlights each chef differently was just a great honor. Since we were serving chefs, we really wanted to come up with something that was going to be good, something new, serve something unique that highlighted all of us, and I think we really were able to accomplish that. I can get a general idea of what shape you want and how many items are going to be on the plate, and then I can just go
Can we
get
get
something.
other shapes other than rounds?
Yeah, they have other stuff. Pickle watermelon.
Yeah. Stem fruits there, be good. I was about to say.
I think that's good.
Peaches are still in season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depends on the preparation method. If we pick one, maybe take some of the heat out of it.
So, of course.
Certainly Tennessee tomatoes.
Let's just go ahead and say we're going to do some type of tomato salad. That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's either, that might end up starting, we might,
So we could hold on. We couldn't do like any rip on a caprese or anything like that. It has to have like.
Pick Tennessee Products is the Tennessee Department of Agriculture's service to connect farmers with consumers. As part of their 30th anniversary celebration, they launched a brand new program, the Pick Tennessee Farm and Restaurant Alliance. The guests at this Pick Tennessee dinner are all part of this new program, and they understand the benefit of access to fresh local foods for all Tennesseans, from farms, farmers markets, and now local source restaurants.
Well, this is part of the celebration of 30 years of Pick Tennessee Products, and we've got a group of farmers here and a group of chefs together. Many of them use each other's products in the kitchen and supply these chefs with wonderful fresh food and produce. So we are just celebrating that tonight and honoring those chefs and those farmers.
You know, we've always been an agriculture state, and we take a lot of pride in that, but we're increasingly becoming known as a great state for restaurants, really all across the state. So this is a chance to bring people together and celebrate two things that we think maybe there's someplace better in Tennessee, but we doubt it.
So for this dinner, you know, we were able to invite different farmers and chefs that were pioneers in the farm-to-table movement from the beginning, all being Pick Tennessee Products members, because they really saw the importance of the program that Pick Tennessee put on. They were really trying to make accessible products that are made all across the state to people, just average people that were not normally able to get that product. And that's the beauty of Pick Tennessee. People that live in Memphis can know where to get products in East Tennessee. East Tennessee people can know where to get products in West Tennessee. I just think the valuable accessibility that Pick Tennessee provides is great for the average Tennessean if they're willing just to go to the website and look, or even to check the mobile app. It's at your fingertips. All you got to do is check it out.
We've got about 2,500 people in the state that are signed up on Pick Tennessee Products. Fresh fruits and vegetables, agritourism, events and venues, the wineries, and we're one of the few states that we know of that do this as a service to both our producers and consumers.
We're looking at 9 billion people on this planet by 2050. Any avenue that we have to grow production agriculture, whether it be in the local organic food movement or more conventional agriculture, it all has its place to feed a growing world. And I'm confident that the Tennessee farmer particularly is up to the challenge, whether they're a multi-thousand acre row crop operation in southern middle or west Tennessee, or if it's a small garden plot servicing some high-end restaurants in Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, wherever, that we're going to meet that challenge from the Tennessee agricultural industry.
You know, eating locally is important. And not only so you support your local market and your local farmers, but it's about knowing where your food came from. It's about flavor. You know, it's about freshness. It's about nutrients. It's about eating healthier and feeling better after you do eat. It should be important to the consumer. When I tell you that my beef comes from Bear Creek Farm, or my pork or my lamb, which all comes from Bear Creek, and they're standing just over there. They dry age it for us, and it's an amazing cut of steak, and it's an amazing flavor, and it's something you don't see in the grocery stores. It's something you don't see typically at the farmers markets. So it's something new to try as well. So it's another reason it should be important to consumers.
My name is Leanne Cherry. My husband and I own and operate Bear Creek Farm in Williamson County, Tennessee. We farm 2,000 acres. We run mostly our Angus cattle and heritage breed hogs. We also are one of the only farmers in the state of Tennessee that's vertically integrated. We own our own USDA processing plant. We control our own feed. So animals that are born on our farm, they go their whole life, and we also harvest. We think that's important because it keeps the stress level of our animals at a minimum, which is very important in livestock farming. Pairing chefs and farmers together is very important. Over the course of the years that I've been working in farming, the commitment of local chefs to support local agriculture is huge. In fact, and oftentimes, it makes a difference between a family farm being able to keep their farm.
We started a garden here at the residence, and we use all of the vegetables to serve in the house to our guests who come. And we bring children in to show them where their food comes from and help them plant a seed or harvest something. And it's been a terrific way to highlight agriculture here at the Tennessee residence.
And it's meant a lot of great food for us too. Let's be honest.
Pick Tennessee Products, which incidentally is in its 30th year. That's how successful that project has been, to showcase Tennessee products. It's offering, in some cases, niche markets to producers, but it's providing to the consumer a product that is well in demand. It gives them the opportunity to know the local producer, the local farmer. It gives an opportunity for the third parties to be involved to either process or to sell in a retail outlet what's being produced on Tennessee land.
I am what my chefs know as Farmer Dave, and I've been selling produce to restaurants in Nashville for 16 years, at least 16 years, maybe longer than that. Started out dealing with a handful of restaurants when I very first started as a part-time thing, and finally got to where either you farm or you do something else. So we started farming full-time. We grow mainly specialty products for restaurants, so we grow a lot of odd things. I kind of grow the things in the back of the seed catalog that nobody really knows what to do with, and that's kind of what we do. I mean, it's a small operation. It's about 2 acres of what we do, and it's a good way to get into agriculture if you don't have access to large amounts of land and large amounts of capital.
The star chefs we've met today could have restaurants anywhere, but there's a reason they pursue their passion in Tennessee: ingredients. Our long growing season, our great farmers, the diversity of what we can grow make it all possible for us to find the very best ingredients close to home. In Tennessee, you don't have to be a professional chef to find and make great food. Come with us as we visit a few of these farmers and chefs on their own turf to learn more.
I've been gardening since I was 16 years old. My great-grandparents on both sides were farmers. My great-grandfather on my father's side had 40 acres in East Nashville, right down on Rosebank Avenue in Nashville. My great-grandfathers on both sides of my mother's side farmed in West Kentucky, and I've always fascinated with farming. I always thought it was an interesting thing to do. And we finally figured out a way to make it where it was a viable way to make a living. We start in the early spring with pea shoots, and we follow the season through with early vegetables, radishes and turnips and beets and all of lettuces and baby greens and things of that nature. And then we follow in through the summertime with we grow a lot of herbs now. Then the tomato squash and all of those summer vegetables come along. And then in the early or late summer, August to generally August, we start to plant our fall vegetables, which is more root vegetables, generally turnips, beets, radishes, and then followed by fall greens and things like that. Well, I was lucky when I started. I had a friend named Jack Irvine who got me started in this, and Mr. Jack had owned a restaurant, and he knew, since most of my customers are restaurants, he knew what restaurants wanted. So I learned from him how things needed to be presented, and then I learned from my chefs how they wanted everything, what size, colors, flavors, all of those sorts of things. So, you know, I really don't do what I want to do. I do what my customers want me to do. And it's different than commodity agriculture in that we're actually serving our customers' needs as they ask for things. So it's, you know, I learned to grow things the size they want them, how to get them clean enough for them to be able to take them into the kitchen and prepare something out of. And then I learned to listen to them for what they want to make their food creations more creative and more flavorful and more artistic, so to speak. I'm kind of the paint salesman of the vegetable business. So, you know, I sell the things that go on the palette rather than do the art itself. the chefs are buying, and the fact that they're buying from you more than once means you're doing a good job. So getting on a menu and being mentioned on a menu is verification that you're doing a good job, because they don't put your name on the menu the first time they use your stuff. I'm not special. I'm just a guy that does a job.
No, the food here at City House, it's inspired and interesting. It's regional from our area and somewhat from Italy, but it's not Italian food and it's not necessarily Southern food. I'm Tandy Wilson, chef owner of City House here in Germantown, Nashville, Tennessee. You know, we're a neighborhood restaurant. I guess our neighborhood's growing in around us, but we work really hard to work within our community in a lot of ways, both, you know, knowing our guests and the people we see every day, but knowing our farmers and our suppliers and our staff. I always encourage people to cook. I think that what the idea of a chef is the lid's been blown off, you know, and it doesn't mean just me. It means people that cook and lead in any capacity, and that means the home as well. And if people are encouraging local farmers and buying from local farmers and learning how to operate outside of the big supermarket system, then we're learning good trades and responsible purchasing in our area. You know, so yeah, I encourage people to cook at home. I don't hold recipes secret or sacred. If people ask us, we are an open book. Being a born and raised Nashvilleian, seeing what happens around here and the growth, it's been wonderful. The energy that has been pumped into my industry. We didn't think this was going to happen in big culinary cities, much less Nashville, Tennessee. And here we are, you know, the chefs are cool and all that kind of stuff, whatever. It's neat, but what it does, it brings attention. I mean, you're talking about flavor, which is the difference maker for us. But you know, you take anything through its right and natural process and you ripen that tomato on the vine as opposed to picking it green and let that happen in transit. It's the right thing to do. You keep your spending dollar within your community and you're getting a better product for it for a lot of reasons. And that's what we do a lot with the farmers. You know, we sit down with them at the end of the seasons, or some people like our meat farmers, it's a constant conversation. We talk about what worked for them, what worked for us, and how can we maximize that on both ends in the next season. You don't get that otherwise, you know. You order something and it comes standardized and that's all it is. Like lamb is a good for instance for us. We work with Bear Creek Farm, who also works with the 4-H in Williamson County for some of our lamb. And Pig Tennessee is great for that. We met several people at the governor's mansion who I've been in contact with and we're talking to. And you know, in my opinion, if we buy from the produce company, there's room for more farmers. So we buy a little bit, not much, from the produce company. So there's always room for more farmers. And yeah, you get those people together and get talking. It's unbelievable what you figure out you can do. It's a blue collar vision. It's go to work and get a little bit better every day, to respect the land and the people around you, and to leave this place a little bit better than when we got here. And that's something easy to say, but just through proof of where the world is right now, it's something that none of us have done. And that's a really lofty goal. So that's my goal, is to leave this place a little bit better than when I got here.
Tennessee has carefully tended farms across the state that meet the needs of people far beyond our borders with major crops like corn, soybeans, wheat, and cotton. These crops find their way to help people around the globe. These farms anchor their rural economies and strengthen the whole state. Because of our farmers, we get to be a blessing to the whole world. But aren't we lucky to have lots of small local farms who make it possible for us to enjoy the best foods anywhere right here in our own homes? I'm in my Tennessee kitchen now to show you a favorite recipe of mine using a traditional Tennessee ingredient, turnip greens. Turnip greens, what a great Tennessee ingredient and one of my family traditional favorites. Today we're going to share with you a few tips on how to make this healthy, low-calorie, wonderful, wonderful green for your holiday table. So I've put some salted water on to boil while we get ready for our very first step with our turnip greens. We're going to give them a quick bath, get them very, very well rinsed, and then we'll begin to drain them to get ready for our pot. So turnip greens are very, very good for you. They're very high in vitamin A, vitamin K, really, really rich in iron also. Some people like to have their turnip greens rough chopped. Just take a knife and rough chop them into smaller pieces. My family, we usually leave the leaves whole. That's our favorite way to do turnip greens at our house. Our next step is to take this fairly large bunch of turnip greens and get them into our hot boiling water. As we do this, we're going to have to do it slowly. That way, all of the greens will begin to wilt and we can add more greens till they're all in the pot. So now that our turnip greens are all washed, our next step is to start to load them into the pot. So we have great, wonderful, hot, salty water here. As we put these turnip greens in, they will begin to melt and wilt, and all that yummy goodness will start to come out. You may have to take your time just to get them wilted down, and as they do, we're just going to add some more turnip greens. Think about different things that you can add to your turnip greens. Turnips, folks love diced turnips inside theirs. My family doesn't prefer those, so we'll leave those out today. Obviously, the thing that makes your turnip greens so good is a few pieces of salt pork. It helps season those turnip greens, helps give them that wonderful flavor. It also helps tenderize. The fat in the pork will help tenderize those turnip greens as they cook. Now these turnip greens can cook for a long time. Some folks like them a little bit with more texture. Others like them cooked down really, really well. I tend to cook my turnip greens about 2.5 or 3 hours. And towards the end, typically I'll add a couple of bouillon cubes. Bouillon has salt in it, so you'll want to be careful about over salting your turnip greens until you have put these bouillon cubes in. And the result is the most marvelous flavor that it will give these greens, and your family will go crazy for them. So my fresh, locally grown, picked today turnip greens have been cooking for about 2.5, 3.5 hours. Let's see how they're doing. Oh my goodness, you can see they have reduced down. They've become nice and tender. That salt pork has really begun to work in and tenderize and flavor those turnip greens. The best part are all these incredible juices that are marvelous with these turnip greens. I think they are just about ready to eat. Okay, our turnip greens are ready. They smell delicious, they're good for you, and most importantly, it's one of Tennessee's great ingredients. So pick your dish, serve them up with vinegar, chow chow, onions. A lot of folks like lots of different things, deviled eggs especially. From my Tennessee table to yours, easy, simple, traditional, Tennessee delicious. If you'd like to know more, you can find farms near you, plus local source restaurants with the Pick Tennessee mobile app. You can also find holiday recipes from some of the farmers and chefs you've met today on the Pick Tennessee website or Facebook page. We wish you a homegrown holiday and seasonal greetings.
Finding a tree can be an important holiday tradition. The Pick Tennessee mobile app and picktnproducts.org list local Christmas tree farms. You can learn more about Tennessee's Christmas trees and all the holiday activities available at local tree farms at Pick Tennessee.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.